So the theme today is study biology biodiversity in Germany. We have our three panelists. I'm not gonna do a formal introduction from them because all of them are gonna introduce themselves to all of you. But we start with Professor Dr. Tagen. I don't know, I'm sorry. I'll probably mispronounce all of everyone's names here today. I am really, really sorry about that. Next, Professor Dr. 𝘱𝘢𝘕𝘳𝘵𝘪𝘴𝘪𝘯𝘨, and then Professor Dr. 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘀. Okay, I tried. If you're coming to Germany, please, everyone, learn German and learn how to pronounce the names. Just let me briefly introduce me and our company and our services. We are My German University. We are Germany's largest database for English study programs, which means if you want to study in English here in Germany, we got you. We have a great study finder. You can check out there all the information that you might need, finding a program, deadlines, finding the most important things you have to know. Second, if you need more knowledge, if you need to understand, please check out our articles. We have articles in English, we have articles in Portuguese. I translated those. We have Portuguese in Russian. Basically, a lot of material for you to study and understand. We also have webinars. You know that already because you are joining a webinar right now. If you are interested in webinars, please take a look at our page and just follow up. Finally, this is us. I think some people are missing here. Very international group. A lot of us went through this process, so we do feel quite qualified to help you navigating this mission that you are in right now. If you want to find study programs, I'm not going to waste a lot of time here. You should check this for yourself. Go to our website, play with the study finder, play with the drop-down menus. You can there find a bunch of universities. You can filter by cities. Maybe you want to study in Berlin. Maybe you want to study in Hamburg. I don't know. Maybe depends really what you want. You can find it here. We have a subject page. I'm gonna put this page later in our chat so you can look. But on the subjects page, you can find other degree programs that fit under that subject, and you can have a better understanding if that's what you want. Okay, again, this is not that important. You should know that in Germany, you have the traditional universities and the universities of applied sciences, which are much more application-based, much more practice-oriented. Still, regardless, these are both really good choices. It really depends on what your focus is and what you're looking for when coming to Germany. Finally, I'm also going to put this link there later. You can find the study program profiles there. Your own research. And okay, this again, not my do. All of them are going to introduce themselves, introduce their programs, introduce their universities. And just so you all know, you cannot use the chat. This is for us to send links or send any messages for you. You can, however, ask questions in the Q&A. Just ask your questions there. I'll be answering some of them. The most specific questions for the professors here, they can answer to you later or even in the end of this presentation. Having said that, 5 minutes, I already talked too much. Professor Thal, please, the floor is all yours. And I'm gonna turn off my screen. I'll come back if the time is on the essence. See you soon.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me the stage to introduce the Master of Molecular Biology and Evolution at Kiel University in collaboration with the Max Planck Institute in Plön. We are found here in the north of Germany, Kiel University here on the Baltic. You can see here, this is the Bay of Kiel, and the university is located more or less here. And our collaborators in this master program are the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Biology in Plön, in the middle of the lake area, again in Schleswig-Holstein. The institute is around here. Why to choose MAMBE, the Master in Molecular Biology and Evolution? This is an interdisciplinary study program that we established about 10 years ago. It includes current topics in molecular biology and evolutionary biology. And we seek together with the students to find enhanced understanding of complex traits and be able to connect topics in basic science and translational topics. The research topics that we have in the master program reflect the strength of the biology department at Kiel University and the integration and collaborations with the Max Planck Institute in Cologne. It's an international master curriculum in biology, which means that all of the activities and the teaching curricula are in English, and it will provide you an excellent stepping stone for further developing your career in the private sector or academia. This is the study plan of 𝘈𝘷𝘦. You can also find all of the details that I'm showing if you scan this QR code and go directly to our website, or you can just Google 𝘈𝘷𝘦 Kiel. You will find our study program. And it shows the 4-semester plan starting here at the bottom until the last one. The first year, that means the first 2 semesters, are dedicated to specific modules. Some of them are obligatory. These are the core modules of 𝘈𝘷𝘦, which include evolutionary biology, advanced topics in molecular biology, advanced topics in data analysis, scientific presentation, and elective modules from the different labs that you can find at the Kiel Biology. The most important part of our master program is the second year, which is dedicated to the master research project. This year includes 3 different practical research modules in the 3rd semester and a development of a scientific project, which is the master thesis. And then the 4th semester is dedicated to working on the master thesis. What is the master thesis? This is an independently performed research project that is supervised by an expert in the relevant field. We have a very wide selection of topics in molecular biology and evolutionary biology, and the topics are all included within the focus area of the institutes in the biology department, the Microbiology Institute, the Zoology and the Botany Institute, as well as the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Biology in Cologne. The full list of groups that are eligible to take master students is found in our website. Again, if you scan now this QR code, you will find the list of groups that can take you as a master student. And here you can see examples for the research work that was performed in previous years by our master students. For example, in one group working on C. elegans, it was possible to work on the microbiome of C. elegans. In another group, expert of microscopy, there was a master student that worked on the mandible shape in stag beetles. Another group here was working on molecular biology and specific para-like ATPases in Corynebacterium glottamicum, that's a bacteria, or the characterization of small peptides in Methanosarcina. And here we have work on pathogens. These are Thamnoseptoria, pathogenic fungi of wheat, or specific amine oxidases and alkaloids biosynthesis in plants. All of these topics are the titles of the master thesis that were performed by our students in previous years. What do you need in order to register? There are slightly different ways to register for students, depending if they are coming from Germany. You just have to send an application via our webpage, and indeed, if you scan the QR code, you will go directly there. Foreign students have to register via the UniAssist. The link to that is also found in our webpage. What you need to know is mainly the deadline. This is the 15th of June this year, and you need a proof of your bachelor until the end of September 24. The most important decision in order to register for 𝘈𝘷𝘦 is, again, thinking about what you would like to do for your master thesis, what research work you would like to perform, looking at our webpage, and you will be asked about it also in the registration procedure. If you need any further information, you can write us via our email, 𝘈𝘈𝘦@bio-uni-kiel.de. Right, if there are any direct questions now, you are welcome to write them in the Q&A. And as the last slide, I put here again our study program. Just to repeat the main concepts of our study program, the first year is dedicated to obligatory and elective modules. that will prepare you to work most of the second year on your own master thesis. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm happy to answer your questions in the Q&A.
Thank you so much. That was very much fitting the time. As the professor said, please, and you can send your questions in the Q&A. She might answer them now, or we can talk about them later. Professor Behet, the floor is yours. Just one thing, your microphone is still muted.
So now you should be able to hear me.
Perfect.
Okay. So I will present the Master Biochemistry in Jena. Oops, it does not move. Ah, now it does. So the Master Biochemistry is one of quite a few related masters that are offered. In Jena, we have the Master Molecular Life Sciences and Molecular Medicine and Biochemistry, which are the major ones in the biomolecular area. And they differ slightly, but you can do the same things in your master thesis afterwards. Molecular Life Sciences is 50-50 plants and animals, including humans. Molecular Medicine is exclusively humans. And the basic courses of the Master Biochemistry are concerning molecular biology. And we have quite a variety of diverse advanced courses, as you will see later. In addition, in Jena, we have a Master of Chemical Biology, Microbiology, and Pharma Biotechnology. You can apply to all of these master programs in parallel and just take the one where you are accepted. Now, concerning the Master Biochemistry, in Jena, we are recruiting from the Bachelor of Biology, mostly from the Bachelor of Biochemistry, Molecular Biology, and the Bachelor of Nutrition. Accordingly, your bachelor degree should also be in those areas or related areas such as chemistry, pharmacy, or something like that, and then you are welcome to study in the Master Biochemistry. Now, concerning the study program, this is a similar thing as was shown in the previous presentation. We have 3 basic modules that concern spectroscopy, biochemistry, and once again biochemistry, which is essentially, as you will see, cell biology, molecular biology, not so much biochemistry. And we have quite a variety of certain advanced modules where you can choose 3 out of the many that are offered. And in the second year, you are mostly focusing on practical work in the lab concerning your master thesis. So there's the actual master thesis, which is in the 4th semester, and 2 modules which extend the master thesis in the 3rd semester. So in the advanced modules, you also have always practical courses. So the content of practical courses in the master is pretty high. Now, this is for the 1st semester. As you see, it is quite relaxed. So there are lectures and seminars, nothing on Thursday and Fridays, because the spectroscopy module includes a little practical course that you can do on Thursday or Fridays in the semester, or also in the semester break, depending on the agreement with the lab where you do that practical course. And concerning these things that you see here, the blue ones are mandatory and gray ones are already advanced modules that you may choose if you want. And in the morning, you have biochemistry, of course, genetics and cell biology in the form of lectures. And seminar, and in the afternoon, that's mostly focused on methods. So lectures on methods and a seminar on methods. And Thursday and Friday, you can do a heavy job or any job or just prepare for the exams. Now, at the end of the 1st semester, you have quite a few exams, namely 5 exams concerning the spectroscopy module, the biochemistry module, And the second biochemistry module, there are 5 exams in total on 5 of the lectures. 2 events from the basic modules are in the summer semester, so in the second semester of the master. And there, of course, also the respective exam for the lecture is in the summer semester. Now, concerning the advanced module, we have 2 of them that you can already do in the winter semester, but most of them are in the summer semester. And you choose 3 out of these advanced modules that you would finalize. 1 out of the 3 modules can actually be chosen one from the other master programs that I've shown you before, and you are also able to assemble a module all by yourself by components of different master programs. So this is very flexible. We try to make this as interesting for all students as possible. And concerning these advanced modules, you see here that you can actually focus on certain areas. So in green, you see modules in the area of natural product chemistry or green biochemistry. In blue, you see modules in the area of cell biology, epigenetics. And in red, you see modules in the area of immune infection biology. So these are the 3 main areas that you could specialize on if you want. Of course, you can also choose 1 module from each of these areas just to get an overview. And then you do practical courses in these modules, which may enable you to find already your master thesis. And for the advanced modules, we do a presentation of all the advanced modules in December, so in the winter semester, and then an electronic survey where you see this here, so you give priorities. And on the right here, lower part, you see an example of the admission. So most students could be admitted to their favorite advanced modules because we have plenty of slots available. And after that, doing all the basic modules in the winter semester and the advanced modules in the summer semester, you can enter your master thesis, which essentially consists of 3 parts, which are all done in the same lab on the same topic. The T1 module is about concepts and methods of your master thesis. The T2 module is finished with a project presentation with real data. And the T3 module is your actual master thesis, but you continuously work in the same lab. On that, you just have to finish these modules by the respective exam, or in case of the master thesis, you have to write a master thesis and hand it in. And once you have finished that, you are finished with the master. Actually, for your master thesis, you can choose any lab, anywhere, even outside of Jena, for your master thesis. But of course, we prefer that you do your master thesis in one of the many labs in Jena that specialize in various areas of molecular biology. And that was it from my side. If you have any questions, then don't hesitate to ask, and I will try to answer them.
Thank you so much, Professor. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't expecting the presentations to go as smoothly. Usually I have to kind of remind everyone, but thank you so much. Really good. Professor Carl, you have the floor. If you want to go over 15 minutes, all yours. Your microphone.
Here. Now I am here. Okay, you see my screen, right? Okay, yeah. So Global Change Ecology is a master program at the University of Bayreuth in the north of Bavaria, and we do that together with the University of Augsburg, but most of the courses are done in the campus of Bayreuth. Bayreuth is a small city, just like 70,000 inhabitants. University is young. We have a very modern campus, but there's a lot of culture in the city, like the Wagner Festival or World Heritage places. So it's quite pleasant. So we have a video about our program that you can find also on our webpage. So I don't open it now because that lasts too long. Maybe we can have it later. And here is the general contents of our program. So we are focusing on the global challenges that our societies are faced. Environmental changes, including climate change, ecological changes, like including biodiversity loss, and also societal changes that are related to these. So we have a transdisciplinary program where in the end students will specialize in one of these fields after the first year and do their master thesis. This is also why we don't have a prerequisite for the kind of study before, but we have a quite thorough selection procedure for choosing the students. So this is our structure: 3 terms, 3 semesters of teaching, and then the master thesis, like also in the other programs that you've seen before. So we do have an introductory course in the first term, and then each of these columns must be taken: environmental changes, ecological changes, societal changes. And then from the second term on, so from summer term on, you can specialize and add additional expertise and courses in the field that you want to focus on. So we also have internships and schools included, and there is also a free choice module in the third term. In addition, we have a large spectrum of methodological courses that can be chosen dependent on the field that you would specialize. So here we have some examples for courses and modules, like courses on extreme events and natural hazards, land use change, changes in aquatic ecosystems, biogeography, macroecology, biodiversity and ecosystem functioning, disturbance ecology, then ecosystem services, climate policy, governance. And in all these fields, we do have professors that are teaching. For the methods here, just a selection. You see from the numbers that this is not complete, but we are training students as well in the field, like in vegetation science, where we have field courses in the Alps, like in the lab, remote sensing, big data analysis, GIS studies, and then, of course, also academic working skills and statistics. So we do have a broad spectrum of methodological courses that you can visit. Our students are very international, coming from all over the world. So we have a few countries in Africa that we have not had students, like also Indonesia, or we didn't have students from Argentina until now, but from many countries we have students. But we have a small number of students each year that we finally accept, something between 20 and 30 students. And these students have a very strong corporate identity. We do also make field trips to the neighboring landscapes, as you can see here. And we offer also our own science school, the La Palma Science School in the Canary Islands, every year, where also professors from other European universities are involved and also practitioners. And this year we also had 2 big companies, one AI company and one drone company, that were joining our course here during this field part of the science school. The students also can visit international political conferences. So we have also funding for joining the big United Nations conferences, like here, for instance, in Dubai, where students can participate in the decision-making processes for the future of the planet, which is sometimes a bit frustrating, but it's also very informative to be really part of this procedure. So our study program is accepted as an official observer organization for these international conferences. And we're very active every year at the IPBES, so Intergovernmental Panel on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services. And you can see that our students make a strong contribution to these international conferences. And also they do a lot of networking there, of course, because they want to spread all over the world again, hopefully after they finish their studies. We do have a student board, so it's like the representatives or the advocates of the students, as you can see here, which is changing every year. This year we have these 4 students. You can see 2 German students, one from Colombia and one from India, which are in close contact with the professors to also address challenges, problems maybe, and also wishes that the students have for their studies. Global change ecology students have always been very committed to the topic, but also to the study program. So they founded their own alumni club. It's called Friends of Global Change Ecology, FROG. And they went through the procedure of creating a German association, German-based association, which is organizing like here summer parties and things like that, and also enables and supports the networking of the students after they finished their studies. There's a lot of additional activities that are done by the students themselves, so not managed by the professors. Like the students have their own blog, where they inform about what's going on in our study program and what's going on in global change. And they also participate in action in situ, like here planting trees, for instance, and having the feeling that they can do something practical also in addition to their studies, which are always to a certain degree theoretical in this field. So this program is part of the so-called elite network of Bavaria. So this is a series of study programs that are additionally financed by economy. So our argument to be part of this elite network was not that we would train students to make a lot of money for the German economy in the future, but our argument was simply that, well, if we have leaders in this field that have a high qualification, then we can help our societies to lose less money in face of climate change. And the elite network also offers a lot of networking activities, soft skill courses, or the Nobel laureate meeting at the Lake Constance, where our students also can participate. So the final ceremony for when having finished their studies involves also, as you can see here, the Bavarian Minister of Science. So it's not me who is handing the documents to them, it's a Bavarian minister, and there is a big party every year where all the study programs of the elite network are unified. So we started the application process already. So we have also the first interviews with international applicants for this aptitude assessment that we do. And well, every information is given on the web page for the application procedure. The deadline will be in mid-June. Well, we do a constant assessment until then. It's just finished by the mid of June. For our studies, there is no application fee, there is no tuition fee, but we make a selection among, in some cases, hundreds of students that want to join this program. In the end, to have really students that are committed to these topics and are really also able to cover such a broad spectrum of topics that are addressed in our study program. We have 3 coordinators that are supporting the program and the students, and that's 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘥𝘪𝘯𝘨, who is also here with me, as a representative of our coordination. And then there is Dr. Stefanie Thomas and Mathilde Müller-Buhler-Bois. And you can contact us anytime. You would also find the emails and the contact of the enrolled students. So if you don't want to talk to a professor or to a coordinator, you can also contact students that are enrolled and studying this program directly, which is sometimes easier to do than talking to professors maybe. But we are very open-minded. I hope you realize that, and that's the end of my presentation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all of you for the presentations. Very clear. There was some questions, all of them we already kind of answered there. Still not that many questions appearing. If it's okay by all of you, I would like to ask some questions that I know that a lot of students are usually interested in. First of all, one question is Professor Jungnike already answered, but maybe we can talk a little bit about it, is the matter of scholarships. How, if the universities or the programs itself, they offer scholarships. Professor Jungnike already, please.
Yeah. So we do not offer scholarships. Actually, we have no tuitions, and there's only a semester fee of which is handable. The German Academic Exchange Service, the DAAD, does offer scholarships for master studies in Germany. And you can even get that scholarship before getting admission to your master. So in case someone needs funding for the master in Germany, I suggest to check the DAAD homepage, and then there they might be able to find something. Yeah.
I would also endorse that with not only DAAD, but Germany has many foundations that specialize in giving scholarships. There are very specific requirements, but you can definitely look it up and see if this is interesting for you. Regardless, Professor Carl, maybe?
Yeah, well, the same for us. So we support, of course, students in being successful then in applying for scholarships. We also suggest students for the Bavarian Max Weber program, which is also part of the elite network, which is not a full scholarship, but it's a very nice addition. And we also suggest foundations that if they realize that students made it to be accepted in our program, which is, well, not so easy, but of course, don't feel discouraged. So if you are in, then you have a lot of advantages. And also it's easier then to apply for a scholarship. And as we are very fast in our application procedure, so we're sending out already the first acceptances now. So there is a lot of time until the start of the teaching in October to apply for scholarships. So the deadline is just the last option to apply. You can apply anytime, and we are doing already the selection procedure since a few weeks.
Perfect. Professor?
Yeah, so for Mambe in Kiel, all of the previous replies also are correct. We are also already receiving applications, and you can expect a couple of weeks before you will get the answer or the response for your application. We do not have any internal scholarships. Nonetheless, students that are studying here in the biology can apply to student assistant jobs where you can work in the lab next to the technicians or other students, or in courses in tutoring. So this can be coordinated once you are around. You can send your applications to many groups, including other institutions in the city, and try to find such student jobs during your studies here in Kiel.
That is an excellent point. And if I may, I also want to maybe keep on this subject, because this is also a question that a lot of students have. It's about, well, two things. One, obviously, job perspectives, right? Once you graduate, what is the market, or how is the local ecosystem to positions after you finish your studies? This is one thing after you get the diploma, but also during your life. I know there are internships. I know that there are student jobs. How usually this works for the day-to-day lives of the students? Maybe Professor Tao, you want to start? Yeah.
Yeah, so about the opportunity to work as student assistants, I already elaborated a bit. You can try to apply to research groups, and we also advertise positions as tutors in our modules or courses so that you can, for example, teach in the bachelor modules, or even in the MAMBE courses. Once you are in the second year, you can already be integrated as tutors in the first year modules. That being said, if we talk about what happens next after the second year, we see our MAMBE students as the potential excellent candidates for all of our graduate programs, graduate schools within Kiel. This includes the International Max Planck Research School, the collaborated graduate school with the Max Planck Institute in Cologne, our local graduate schools funded by the DFG, like Translational Evolution, or collaborative research program of the meta-organisms, and any future graduate schools that will be established in years to come. I'm also very happy to tell you about a very new opportunity in Kiel University and the state of Schleswig-Holstein for the possibility to apply for PhD scholarships as international students that perform their master program in Kiel can apply to this program and get their own fellowship for further studies towards a PhD degree.
Perfect. Professor Behet, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I can also add that more than 80% of our students do a PhD after doing the master studies. Not always in Jena, but quite a few of them in Jena and others in other cities. During the master, in the first semester, you can do a HIVI job, so a student assistant job, or a tutor job, or just any other job in parallel, in particular on Tuesdays, Fridays, because they are free. This is also possible in the second semester, where you have 3 elective modules, and some of them are just 2 weeks. And then you can do jobs in between. During the master thesis, doing a job in parallel is actually hard. It's not impossible. Some students have to do that to finance themselves. But that is that. And afterwards, all the students from the master are excellent candidates to do a PhD anywhere in Germany or even elsewhere, and in particular in Jena. So that is the perspective.
Well, and for Bayreuth, I can say that so we are very much research focused, even being a university. So, and the students have a very close connection to the professors. So I think last year, the current cohort, I think, is 26 students. Is that right, Sylvia? Yeah. And we have 18 professors. I just checked the webpage that are involved, and 13 assistant professors in addition. So we have basically more professors than students in this course. But of course, we are also teaching in other programs. So, and all of them, I would say, are very active in third-party funding. So we are involved in a series of European projects or large research consortia, which offer then the students also the opportunity to work as a student, a research assistant, and get in touch with research. But I also have to say that in global change ecology, we also have students that became professors in the meantime, so quite rapidly. And many of them are doing a PhD, but not all of them. So because we also have students that go to economy and consulting, we have students that work in international and institutions, and also in national institutions like federal agencies or state agencies related to the environment. There's a large job market in research, but there's also a large job market in economy, and also a large job market in the society in general, including administration and agencies, because the environment and the changes in the environment are of a high priority in our societies, not only in Germany. And you may know that like a few decades ago, so many big research institutions in Germany were focused on radio nuclear power things. And all these institutions and research institutes are still there, but I would say most of them now are focused on environment, are focused on climate change, are focused on health, and are focused on the topics that we are addressing in our study program. And the German universities cannot by far cover the demand that we have. So that's why you also find a lot of international researchers in these institutions.
That's a really good point. I think, as a reminder to all of us, all of them here, Germany is always, right now, particularly, is looking for qualified people, right? And is very much excited to train new people to come to the country and contribute here in Europe, even going back to your own country and working, of course. Thank you so much for all of your answers. There's a third, I would say that usually there is scholarships because everyone's worried about money. And then there is jobs because also everyone's worried about money. And then the third type of question that appears a lot is the importance of the German language. Personally, I would say to all of you that want to come to Germany, obviously learning the language is important. You can study the whole thing in English, sure, but there's a lot of other matters of culture integration, job search, and so it goes, right? So maybe if any of you want to have some insight on how maybe if the university has some support system for that, or maybe even your own professional insights regarding that. Professor Tal?
Yeah, thank you. That's a very important question indeed. German is not necessary in order to study in 𝘈𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘈, and is also not necessary in order to get around Kiel. It's an international enough city. It's a university city. We have a large university in the city, and is also the capital of the state of Schleswig-Holstein. So there are enough international community that are around, and it's no problem to get along in English. Many of the research groups where you will perform your master also have international scientists, so they are practically running in English. So the day-to-day work is also fine. We have developed over the years a special course of German for biologists with our department of languages. So if you are interested to learn German and even find a partner for training, this is definitely possible.
Perfect. That's super interesting. German for biology. Professor 𝘗𝘀?
Yeah, so it's very much like this in our university, or in our, well, in the research group. So today I had several meetings and I spoke hardly a word in German, which is a pity, of course, as well, because our groups are also very international, besides the students, and the students are. And in our program, so all the regulations, all the module handbooks, and anything, all the email exchange is in English. So there is no German word that students would be confronted. But of course, there are offers to learn German. And I think it is an added value that you get if you stay for such a long time in a country. So I was in Spain recently for half a year. And my problem was also that, well, my colleagues mostly spoke English to me, so my Spanish didn't improve so much. But as a student, you have the chance to participate also in language courses, but it's not necessary at all for the studies. And if we talk, so there is a German course that is offered and that students need to or should take. But my personal opinion is that it's much more important to learn the Franconian dialect that we speak here than German language.
Yeah, perhaps I would like to add that it is mandatory to have some very basic German knowledge at the end of the second semester. And of course, there is offered training and courses at the university you can do once you're here. And I think this will be no problem to submit the necessary paper at the end of the second semester then.
So when you say basic knowledge is A2?
A1.
let's say. A1, okay. Enough
So
for
really
everyone to learn
basic.
how to order bread. Okay, that's fantastic. Professor Vahid, maybe?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same here. The program is entirely in English, so you do not have to have German knowledge beforehand and also not during the course. But of course, we advise to take classes. Classes are offered to learn German up to B2 level, so you can do A1, A2, B1, B2 at our university. And it is not necessary to follow any of the master instructions. Essentially, the basic modules are all in English, and in the advanced modules, there's only one where the professors prefer German, but then you just choose another one, and that shouldn't be a
That's
problem.
fair enough.
Okay. Good.
Thank you so much. Okay, I will promise last answer, last question. And then you can also, if you have any final remarks, you're free to say whatever you want. But last question is a very light one, I would say. But I do see a lot of, it's a lesser preoccupation, but what is student life in the cities, right? For instance, I know Kiel is famous for, I think, water sports, right? And so I know every city has its unique, let's say, vibe. I live in Berlin, and as you all know, Berlin is a very different city in Germany. So maybe if you want to just elaborate a little bit about it, first of all.
Yeah, thank you. So Kiel indeed is next to the Baltic Sea. So during the summer, of course, it provides many opportunities for water sports. The university actually owns a sailing center, and if you would like to take any sport course within the portfolio of the university, this includes also learning how to sail. And you can really start with a very small boat and go forward up to a yacht that is owned by the university. And if you are not afraid of very cold water, you can, of course, also learn how to surf, windsurf, and so on, and kites. These courses are really included at the university portfolio via the faculty for sports. Kiel has pubs and bars and restaurants around the city. They are located around the university, as the university is more or less at the center of town. And the students are around, and they make the city more lively, I do believe. In June, we have the largest naval event in Northern Europe, the Kiel Week in German, the 𝘗𝘀𝘀𝑗, where many competitions of sailing are performed here in the bay, and the city is full with visitors coming for music concerts and food stands, and it's an extremely jovial week in the life of Kiel city. Otherwise, you should be prepared to somewhat dark and cold winter, but if you survive the winter, the spring and the summer are beautiful. We do not have any heat waves as in southern of Germany, and the weather is just perfect.
That's fair. I also would say that if you're coming to Germany, winter is not always the best. However, we do have beautiful Christmas markets. So all of you remember that if you want to come to Germany, it's absolutely incredible. Maybe Professor Carl and Silvia?
Yeah, so my answer is very simple. So if I share my screen, you see instantly what it is about. It's free climbing, so which was basically invented close to our landscapes, where there's a lot of rocks in the Jurassic Mountains. And I'm suspicious sometimes that students come to Bayreuth only for climbing, not so much for studies maybe. But so climbing is very important in our place. And then we have mountains nearby, like Fichtelgebirge, where you can still go skiing. Maybe you should be fast, maybe not so much in 20 years from now, but still it's possible. And of course, I think the biggest advantage that we have here is the surrounding. Well, it's a little bit also like Jena, so where you have a high diversity of different kinds of bedrock and different kinds of landscapes, limestone, granite, volcanoes, of course, old volcanoes, sandstones, different kinds of forests, and all this in biking distance. So within biking distance from Bayreuth, like 20 kilometers, you have the entire spectrum of the history of the Earth since 700 million years in rocks that have been created. So it's all very close, so that you can really have your hands-on experience in the field about the diversity of geodiversity and biodiversity as well.
That's very fair. I've actually have planned traveling to Boulder around that area. So as the professor said, if you are into bouldering, climbing, top roping, yeah, that's a wonderful, a wonderful place.
There's even a famous rock. There's a famous rock that is called the Student.
So yeah, perfect. If you're not into bouldering, you're probably going to be into bouldering when you move to Germany and move there. Professor Berhet?
Yeah, essentially Jena has both. So we have the River Saale, so you can go kayaking or boating on the river. And we have mountains or hills around that. So hiking is a nice activity that you can do around Jena. Essentially, Jena is very academic as a city. So we have 25,000 students among 100,000 inhabitants. So students make up a major part of the entire population of the city, and that actually shapes the city. And the actual institutes of the university are spread over the city. So we do not really have a campus. There is a research campus on the 𝘸𝘪𝘵, but most of the other things are in the city in different villas. So you just go into one of these villas and then you have your lecture there or your seminar. So that is very peculiar. So these many students, they always go through the city, and that also shapes the appearance of the city. There are many bars and restaurants and pubs that are frequented by the students. And we also have these sport activities which are integrated into the schedule of the university. So you can just apply for these things such as kayaking or tennis playing or whatever you are interested in. And you sign up at the beginning of the semester, and then you can attend these things free of charge if you have if you are a student of the university. So this is about student life in Jena. Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, obviously, if you choose a study program, you should choose it by the merits of the program. However, all of these options are really cool also. So be aware, know that all of the future applicants here. We are running out of time. Thank you so much for answering all of the questions. I've seen also you answering the questions in the Q&A. Thank you so much for the people who join us. If you'd like, have a final remark before we end today's session. Professor Barris is cool, it's fine. Professor Carl.
Yeah, but we need someone who's saving this planet, and maybe it's you.
That's a great final remark, and it's great for everyone. I'm gonna end the session. Again, thank you so much for all of you, and see you next webinar. Have a great week.